Hello, my lovelies. Hi, guys. Welcome, welcome to the Dixiebelle page. Hi, Christine. Hello, my love. How are you? Thank you for joining me, guys. My name is Angela, and I'm the owner and creative energy, excuse me, behind Elfen Helden. I'm an elite retailer for Dixiebelle paints over here in Frankfurt in Germany. So Dixiebelle, thank you so much for having me on your page. May is retailer appreciation, it's a difficult word for a German person, appreciation month for the retailers on the Dixiebelle page. Hi, Nina. And there's loads of talented retailers on the page. And tonight I'm excited. So thank you for joining me. When you join me, just say hi to me and let me know where you're watching from. So our midnight inspired dresser chest of drawers is finished, and we're going to start. Bonsoir, Michelle, ça va? We're going to start a new project. I've already started a little bit because I had to take, this is a kids table, and I had to take it apart because bits were broken. This was supposed to be thrown because the wood had split in certain areas and things like that. So I had to do some repairs. I had to take the whole thing apart. Lucky you didn't watch me putting it back together. I almost lost my head. Anyhow, so as I wanted to do some decoupage on the drawers and on the inside here, I've done that while it was taken apart because that was a little bit easier. So if you have a chance to do that, it's easier to decoupage on the inside when it's taken apart. So that's what I've done without you. My apologies. This is, by the way, this is the Woodland Nursery decoupage paper. And I've taken it a little apart because obviously it is A1 from the size. And I put the main part up here. Down here, there was like a little birdie, which I wanted to have in here because I would have cut it apart because it didn't fit on here. So I just layered some of the other bits on here so you can't basically see that it was taking something off. And on the inside here, I've used all the bits and pieces up which were left over to get the drawers or get the drawer finished. And this is all I have left from the paper. Everything else I've used up. So I'm going to keep that for whatever other project I may have to cover up some boo-boos or something like that. So guys, let me know that you're here. And hi, Anna Maria, how are you? It is 7 p.m. over here, so I guess it is a little earlier where you are watching from. So just let me know. I've done some little repairs also. I've turned this upside down. You see this little rim here. There was some string going through whatever to hold some paper, something like that. I didn't want to reuse that, so I've turned it upside down. So basically that used to be the top, which is the inside now, and that rim, whatever, you know, when you grip it, you hold in that rim, which is quite handy. And the holes where this went through, I used some Dixie mud to cover that up. And I would say let's get going. The colors I have in mind, oh, by the way, on the inside, that green you see here, I made a custom mix with the silk paints, and I've used the, get it over here. I've used the midnight green, I've used Tide Pool and Hampton Olive to get like this, this toned down little lighter green, as there's none in the silk lines I wanted to, you know, have. And this, you know, obviously goes quite well with the color scheme of the decoupage. That's on the inside. And on the outside, we're going to mix a little bit also. This is going to be for a little princess. I'm talking too much, I know. I'm sorry. So let's get going. And on the outside, we're going to use also the silk mineral paints, the sandcastle and prickly pear. Yeah, pinky and well, sand color, obviously. So those two, we're going to do a little blend. Yes, you can blend the silks. And as it is going to be for a little princess, I also have the Moonshine Metallics in Rosé. It's going to come on there. And it's going to be finished off. I'm not sure which one I'm going to use, either the Flower Child Transfer or the Bohemian Wedding. You can put in the comments which one you would like to see on there. I usually, I'll probably end up using something totally different. So, okay. The reason I'm using the silks for that one is because it is a bleeder, and the silk paints, they do have built-in primer as a stain blocker. So that's the reason I'm using that. So I don't need to prep it with Boss or something like that. Flower Child, Kristen, that was my first choice also. I've never used it, so I like to use it. So, silk paints, water-based, built-in primer, built-in top coat, and the primer, as I said, is a stain blocker. So I don't need to prime it in addition to that. They are water-based, VOC-free, and the sandcastle is like a creamy, sandy color. This is basically, I don't want to have it like completely pink. I'm going to have it a little toned down. The pink is just going to go a little into it. So don't use water for blending or something like that for the silk paints, because you can. They are water based, but you have to keep in mind that you may how do you say that in English? Somebody help me. That the benefits of the paints cannot fully develop themselves. So I think, does that make sense, guys? Let me know. Does that make sense? Even so, I like to have my brush slightly damp. This just makes it easier to pick up some paint. Breakdown. Okay, thank you. So I'm going to lay down the base with the sandcastle, and I'm going to blend in some of the prickly pear at the end. Using my mini brush, as I said, pick up some paint. Everybody can see. And I'm just gonna get going. So it is pretty much the color like the wood. And I like this type of blending, especially when I want to tone the colors down. We're going to use just a little of the of that prickly pear, because it's not supposed to be pink. It's just, supposed to be more of a rose color. I've prepared the piece. I've cleaned it first nicely with White Lightning. You can use Pristine Clean. You can use Terra Clean. The main thing is that you've cleaned it before you do anything else. And then I've sanded it down because the back was red, bright red, and the front was in a royal blue. That used to be a boys' table before. That's probably the reason it was broken down. It was used pretty much. So I've sanded the paint down. You don't have to. I decided to, because it went off pretty easy. If you would have resisted my sander, I probably would have left it and just scuff sanded it. Would have been enough for applying the paint. So, but even so, like this, it worked even better. Go around outside. So first coat, guys, first coat for me is always checking out if I like the color scheme, if I want to make some changes. So you apply the silks just like you would apply the other paints. And the blend I'm going for is not supposed to be perfect. It's going to be a little bit of a cloudy blend. So that's why I've grabbed I have already laying here my Best brush. Just lost for words again. So. Anybody painting? Hallo, liebe Vera. Schön, dass du da bist. Hi, Sonja. How are you? How is it in Croatia? How's the weather there, my dear? So, my watch is going off. I've done enough exercise today. Just going around the edge here. So, let's see. Careful, my coffee. Don't lay it on my coffee. So, has anybody from you been to Germany? Coming up with a prickly pear. I know a lot of you guys have been based over here in earlier years, so just let me know where you've been based. So, prickly pear. As I said, I'm just going to work in a little of that, so probably the paint in the lid is going to be enough. Again, just got a little water on my brush to make it very hot with some rain. Oh, okay. So. I'm just laying it down randomly from the outside. It is pretty warm over here, so the paint dries pretty quick. So I'm going to work a little quicker also. If you have a bigger piece, just work in sections if you want to blend the silks together, because as I said, you're not supposed to use any water. And again, this is the first coat of paint. Some people, they start blending on the second coat. I like to see it on the first coat if I like it or not. So, coming in, my Best brush. Just working it in circular motions. It is already drying. As I said, it is pretty warm over here. And it's supposed to be a cloudy blend. The wood is soaking up because I've sanded it down to the raw wood. The wood is soaking up quite a bit of the paint also. That's the reason it's dried pretty quick. So we may be able to do a second coat. Even so, this is still too pinky. I don't want to have it that much pinky. So I'm just adding a little of the sandcastle in here. And I'm going to come over it again. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. That's more the color I want to get. So for blending, the chalk mineral paints are basically the best paints to go for, but I wanted to show you that you can also blend the silk paints. You have to work a little quicker because you're not using any water. I think that's the way we are gonna going. Have a little more blend towards the middle on the edges. Start here. Add a little prickly pear. That was already too much. So the silks, they do dry a little darker than they appear when they are wet. It looks different here. I can see it is very bright. That's from the light, because I don't know, my camera doesn't pick up very nicely those light colors. Just a dash, put it in there. Going in a circular motion and swiping back and forth. This is basically the way it's gonna go. A little more in the middle. Just tiny. Looks crazy, but that's what I want to have for our cloudy blend. There you go. So the reason also why it is harder to blend the silk paints, it looks really blotchy, guys. It looks different here. Trust me. Trust me. This is basically because the camera is picking up that lighter color pretty crazy. So anyhow, for the legs, they are going. Believe me, it looks a lot better. I don't know if I can see. It is pretty heavy, that thing. Now you can see a little better. So that's basically what I'm going for. Cherry blossoms. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, for the legs, also brought my woody bands. You know me, I like to use woody bands. I probably will, but they're going to be, if I use them, in a different color. And for the legs, I'm going to lift it up, the whole piece, so you can I'm already a mess again. As per usual. As per usual. Ich bin live. So. Okay. So. Get that up here. Possible without dropping anything. Made it, guys. Almost. Made it almost. So I'm going to lift you up and bring you a little closer. Bring you a little closer. So now for the legs and for the fronts, we're going to mix some of those colors. And let's see. It's there. To get a lighter pink, basically. You know me, I eyeball. Just make about enough paint for that project. Maybe a little more. You can paint some flower pots or something like that if there's some paint left over. Baby wipes. Need some baby wipes. So just going to use, oh yeah, drop the lid, the paint out of the lid. I'm always using my fingers, guys, you know me. They are water-based, those paints, so I don't want to waste anything. So that's the reason that's going to go in here. And if you have questions, guys, shoot away. I see if I answer those on the fly. And if I miss them, I come back later. If you watch replay, please put hashtag replay so that I know that you've been there. So let's see. I just added the pink out of the lid, but that's pretty light. I need a little more. Can you see? Yeah, you can see. So if I would paint like a bigger piece, or I need the paint or the same measurements for more than one piece, obviously I would measure it different. You can, you know, use a scale, or you can measure it by weight to get the perfect ratio. So it's getting closer. To what I would like to have. We do have in the silk line, we do have a paint color called Conch, but Conch is very beigey, and that's not exactly the color I want to have. So that's the reason I'm mixing it. This is more like a clearer pink. You say clearer pink? No. I like that. I like that. That's a light pink, and this is going to be a base also then for the Moonshine Metallics. Brush. I need another brush. And that's now for the front and for the legs. Let's see. Warms it up so I don't mess it up. Thank you, Christine. You're such a sweet lady. Always there, always commenting. Careful I don't get the paint in my hair. So, let's go for the legs and for the sides. You see, I always use my mini brush. So I'm basically using it for everything. On the thin rims, I take it sideways, so I have like the thin side of the brush, and on the others, on the wide sides, obviously take the wide side. You can see the great coverage of the paints, just like the chalk mineral paints and the terra clay paints. Dixiebelle paints, they cover really, really well. So you need very little paint. So an almost one coat would be enough. Even so, I'm going to do 2 coats. As I said, the built-in primer, the stain blocker, you can compare 1 coat of the silks with 1 coat of the stain blocker, the Boss from Dixiebelle. That's about the same. So all the details and things like that, I'm going to come in at the end and basically making sure that I have no boo-boos or anything. And as I said, you don't really need to seal the silk paints. They do have a built-in sealer. They are suitable for outdoors. Just going to. They're suitable for outdoors. They're UV resistant. They are mildew resistant. They are grease resistant. So it's a great paint. And if you're going for a 1-color finish, they're absolutely perfect. Do I have pink on my shirt now? Yeah, I have. I have edges. Then, excuse me, I decide when that has dried if this is the color scheme I would like to have, and if not, I can always come back on the second coat and make some changes. But I'm pretty much sure I quite like it like that. And that pink together with the green looks quite nice. This is now, I think that looks pretty similar to the soft pink from the shop window. Well, it's probably a little darker. Yeah, it's a little darker. That's pretty light, the soft pink. I think I quite like that. For the second coat, I'm going to let it dry for about, well, it depends on humidity and room temperature, obviously, how quick that's going to dry. What's the time? Oh, no. So, thinking if I can, because I think the top has already pretty much dry, because the wood, you know, as I said, the wood has soaked it up because it is really dry wood. Hang on, I'm going to, because I don't want to have the top touch the I'm just going to put that in. Lid down for the cloth in between. There you go. Don't you break. Don't you break. So this is going to dry even quicker. It dries to, oops, too much paint, to a satiny finish. And obviously, if you wish to, if you have it outdoors and it is out in the open, you can seal it with the silk line. You have the extra coat, which is basically like the gator hide, suitable, you know, for outdoors and things. So when you start painting, you don't need tons of brushes, but make sure you use a good brush, because the brush is basically also or your end result is basically depending also on the brush you're using. Just make sure you get yourself like a nice, good quality brush, and that you use it, or that you clean it right after use, and then it'll last a very long time. The paints are self-leveling, which is also a great benefit. Self-leveling, meaning during the drying time, brush strokes will level themselves out. Yes, Nina, it's some sort of pine wood, yeah. Painting over the screws. I'm still deciding if I'm going to add some wood band or not. So let's see if the top has dried enough to attempt a second coat. As I said, you usually should let it dry for about 1 to 2 hours. But as the wood has soaked it up pretty much and it is pretty warm in here, it might be good to go to attempt a second coat. Because then we basically have the top finished for next week, where we can apply then the transfer. So for underneath and making sure this is a smaller project, I'm going to turn it upside down at one stage to have a better look from underneath, but not today. Therefore, I need to protect basically the top. Go from there. Just want to lay down the base for now. So that looks pretty good. Oops. Missed this side here. Just do that quickly. There you go. Hi, mein Hase. Dankeschön, liebe Vera. Ja, ich bin ja jetzt nicht so das Girlie, aber nachdem das ein Jungtisch gewesen ist, habe ich gedacht, darf das jetzt mal ein bisschen mädchenhafter werden. Und ich glaube, mit dem Moonshine Metallics wird es nachher richtig schick. So, let's see. my wardrobe. Some of the paint off there. So take that back down. Master of disaster at its best. So take that down. It's only water. Don't worry, it's only water. That's really dry. That's really dry. So let's see if we could do the second coat. Now on the paints. Yeah. Yeah. I need to soak up the water, guys. What's the time? 40 minutes. Do we have 10 minutes? Are you going to stay with me for another 10 minutes? So, there we go. Saved it just a little. Okay, second coat. Same thing. Gonna come in with my, the brush is too wet now. Second coat. See if I'm going to work in sections now. That's same thing, laying first down my sandcastle. Using a little more paint to blend it in a little easier. Quick. See, even if I wouldn't like the pink, I could just cover it up easily with my endless shore with my sandcastle. So, prickly pear, just lay that down. Okay. Don't really want to have it too pinky. I'm gonna come in with my best thing in a second. So now we're gonna come in with our best thing. Just going to give it a little spritz so it's not too dry. Blending with the best thing brush is always a little easier when it's slightly damp. It's one of those days where I can't decide if I'm right or left-handed. Smoothing it out. May have some lettering on there also. I'm not quite sure yet. So that's it. Again, it looks crazy on the screen. I'm just trying to lift that up so you can see a little better. So it's just like a little cloudy. Ugh. And it's heavy. It is heavy. So let it settle down now. I'm quite happy with the color it is now. Hello, my love. Hi, Sully. I didn't see you. Thank you for joining. How are you? So, okay. We have the inside, our decoupage, woodland nursery already, and some custom green with the silk mineral paints. And on the outside, we've made our mixture with the prickly pear and sandcastle. And next week we're going to work with the moonshine metallics in rosé and the transfer, probably the flower child, and all good. Oh, wonderful. Well, we had everything today apart from rain, but it was sunny, it was cloudy, it was cold, it was warm. So at the moment you don't know really what to wear over here. So I'm still deciding if there's gonna go some wood bands on there. They probably will, but they will have a separate color. Where did I put those there? I'm probably going to use the, you can also get from your Dixiebelle retailers and from Dixiebelle themselves, they carry those. It's the 76 and the 1320, those swirls. But we'll see. They will have a different color anyway. Guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope you enjoyed that. Me doing a girly piece and a kid's piece anyway. But as I said, this guy was supposed to be thrown away, and you know, I had to pull it out of the dumpster. It's not going to go away. You can paint everything. I do anyway. Guys, thank you so much for being with me tonight. My name is Angela. I'm the owner and creative energy from Elfen Helden. I'm an elite retailer for Dixiebelle paints over here in Frankfurt in Germany. If you haven't done it yet, I highly appreciate if you give me a follow, The Master of Disaster, for more crazy projects and things like that. And make also sure to get the products on the Dixiebelle page in the US and or from your local retailer. Make sure to check in with the other retailers also who do their lives this month. They're fabulous people. There's Kristen, there's Diane, there's Jill. I don't know. There's loads of fantastic retailers popping on. Guys, I thank you so much, guys. Have a lovely evening, afternoon, day, what the time is where you're watching from. And I see you next week. Ta-da, bye-bye.